iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards. Get out the copay. The office? It's open, my friends. All right, let's get to it. Waiver Wire Wednesday. Now, I said this in yesterday's podcast, and I'm going to say it again today. I really don't like this week of people. I don't like the flock. I don't think it's strong, and I highly encourage you not to overspend. Okay? And I want to talk about this some more because I think it is critical. So, let me give you some bye week information. So, week 8, we know we have 6 teams on bye. The Rams, the Dolphins, the Giants, Pittsburgh, 49ers, and Ravens. Okay? Week 9, Chicago, Cincinnati, New England, Arizona, Washington, Houston. Another 6 teams. You go spending this week. What about next week? Now, week 10, 4 teams. Buffalo, Detroit, Indianapolis, Oakland. 4 pretty decent offensive teams outside of Buffalo. Week 11, Atlanta, Denver, the Jets, San Diego. Okay? Week 12, nobody. But week 13, if I'm not mistaken, there is. Week 13, Cleveland and Tennessee. Well, I will lose DeMarco Murray, but so you're looking over the next few weeks, right? 9, 10, and 11. 8, 9, 10, and 11. Critical weeks. Critical weeks. Remember, I've discussed this with you before. You approach a season in blocks. So right now we're in 8, 9, 10, 11. Then I'll look at 12, 13, and then I'll look at the playoffs. I might look at 8, 9, 10, then 11, 12, 13. Maybe I'll do it in threes, right? So for these next 3 weeks, what do I need? What do I want? What do I have? So for example, okay, free agent-wise, I am not going to spend on a guy on Arizona. Now, I like J.J. Nelson. I'll use him as an example. I like J.J. Nelson. He's got Carolina this week. What about next week? He's on bye. Now, why don't I want to overspend on J.J. Nelson? Because in week 10, when they play San Francisco, Michael Floyd is back. John Brown is back. So I'm basically renting J.J. Nelson for a week. Now, if I need the week and my team is in the middle of it, I will spend what I need to. But I don't need to overspend for him because he's a 1-week wonder. Now let me look forward into this list. Then week 11, it's at Minnesota. Yikes. Then it's at Atlanta. Not so easy with Trufant and Alford. Then we're at Washington, Miami, New Orleans, and then Seattle in week 16. So week 15 is pretty good. But are they going to need J.J. Nelson in week 15? Or do you think they'll be using Larry Fitzgerald? Do you see where I'm going with that? So I want you to spend, but don't spend capriciously. Spend smartly, right? Now, would I bid on a guy, Paul Perkins? Maybe, but not a ton, because he's not playing this week. But I should be able to get Paul Perkins on a discount. Now, if the Giants are playing this week, I'd have to pay more. But since he's off, I can get him at a little bit of a discount. And then I look at the rest of the season. Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Chicago, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Detroit, Philadelphia again. All right, so Perkins has a decent schedule moving forward. I don't really love Detroit. Very hard to run against them, and Philadelphia is not easy to run on. But it's not the worst schedule. But I'll see if I can get him at a discount because he's on bye this week, right? So use the schedule as a guide. use the schedule as a guide. I think the J.J. Nelson one was a really good example. Carolina this week looks good. Bye week. San Francisco, are they really going to need him when they're the worst run defense in all the NFL and David Johnson should be able to run for 200 yards that week? Then they're at Minnesota, so all of a sudden you spent $117 on J.J. Nelson and you're not using him for the next 3 weeks. How do you feel about that now? Feeling good about that? I'm feeling like you wasted it. Now, why is it so important if you wasted it? Because remember what I told you. Bye weeks are crazy for the next few weeks. Week 9, week 10, week 11, I'm going to need more guys. I drop $117 on J.J. Nelson. I may have wasted $117 when I need 57 next week, when I need 62 the week after. So make a smart bid. Don't make a crazy bid. Look, I like him. I like JJ. He's a good player. But is he a great player? Is he a star? Is he a player who's going to make such a difference on your fantasy roster? If he is, then I love him. If he's not, I don't. So let's take a look at some key guys who I think will make the most bang for your buck. At quarterback, I think there are 3, and maybe a half of another. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is interesting. We know Geno Smith is now done. We know Christian Hackenberg is a hack. And we know Bryce Petty's not going to play until maybe week 16 or week 17. So Ryan Fitzpatrick becomes useful again. Whether you like him or not, he's the starter. So how many starters are there? Not many. How about Grumpy Cat Jay Cutler? What do people forget about him? Look at his weapons. He's got big-time offensive weapons. And he's a good player. Not a great player, a good player. Problem with Jay Cutler is that people always thought he was a great player. He's not. He's good. But when you've got Alshon Jeffrey and Cameron Meredith and Zach Miller and Jordan Howard, I mean, you got weapons. So Jay Cutler, he's going to get overlooked. I'm not overlooking him. I like him. How about Ryan Tannehill? I think he's interesting. He finally has a healthy offensive line. And he's got a really good running back. So I think he's pretty interesting. And then my last guy is maybe Josh McCown. I'm not buying into Kevin Hogan. I'm not buying into Cody Kessler. McCown is the best player there. He will be back. And when he's back, Corey Coleman may be back. And now you got Coleman, Pryor, Barnage, Crowell. That's not so bad. Josh McCown, not so bad. He can help you. All right, at running back, not a lot of names. Some names I like. Devontae Booker I love. If he is miraculously available in your league, now he was available in one of my leagues, and I bid like $205, $206, and I got outbid by like 20. Somebody bid him for $224. That was a really good bid. I should have been higher. Retrospectively, I should have been higher. My mistake. But he's a guy who's an impact player. Matt Asiata, that's an impact type player. In a PPR league, in our online championship or main event, type of leagues, he could catch 5 balls a week. He's interesting. We talked about Paul Perkins. I like Paul Perkins. Can't block, can't protect Eli, but he can run. And here's what we know about Rashad Jennings. He's not very good. And I have to tell you, I try not to listen to other experts. I try not to. I try to believe in what I believe in. And if I listen to other experts, it's only a very select few. Because I honestly believe that most people don't know what they're doing. I can't tell you how many people I listen to on SiriusXM Fantasy Radio are like, oh, I love Rashad Jennings. The Giants are going to commit to him. Let me share something with you. Crap is crap. Crap is crap. And you know who's crap? Rashad Jennings is crap. Injured crap. He's not very good. Paul Perkins is a great fit there. He just needs to learn how to play better, how to be ready for the NFL. But all these experts, Rashad Jennings, yeah, he's the bell cow. The bell cow of poop. That guy's awful. So please, be careful to who you listen. All right. Kenneth Dixon's a name I like right now. I think they're going to integrate him in the offense more. He's feeling healthier. And Terrence West is a stopgap. He's been a very good stopgap. He has been. But Terrence West is he's like the girl that you date when you're getting over your ex-girlfriend. And you're like, yeah, I like Terrence West. She's all right. Am I going to marry her? No. But I'm having fun with her. I could date her for a little while. But when you want to get married, you're dumping her. You're dumping this girlfriend to go for something better. And same thing, the Ravens will dump Terrence West for Kenneth Dixon. Just a question of when. Right? He's on borrowed time. And I think the last situation here for running backs is the Washington situation, where you're looking at R. Kelly, I believe I can run, and Chris Thompson. I'm a big Matt Jones fan. I am. I'm a Matt Jones guy, but he fumbles too much. And coaches hate fumblers. Fact. Don't fumble. You fumble, you lose your job. Simple. You can't fumble. So if Matt Jones is going to continue to fumble, R. Kelly is going to continue to run. And Chris Thompson is going to be out there. He's like their version of Theo Riddick. Okay? He's their version of Theo Riddick. At wide receivers, I'm going to tell you I was wrong on a guy. I was wrong on Brandon LaFell. I don't think Brandon LaFell is a great player. But I don't think Tyler Boyd is ready yet. And the Bengals like Tyler Boyd. But with Tyler Eifert being injured and Tyler Boyd being a rookie, Brandon LaFell has been a pretty good player. So if he's out there, I like him against Washington this week. I like Kenny Britt. He's been pretty good. Jamison Crowder. I don't think he's out there, but if he is, he's very underrated. But I'll give you four guys, four receivers I want you to look at. One, Marquise Lee. Blake Bortles loves him. Loves him. It's like he's going to Marquise Lee. He's his first look. He's not even looking at Allen Robinson. So I like Marquise Lee. I love him if somebody gets hurt. Right? I go from like to love. Two, Seth Roberts. He is the Raiders. He's the West Coast version of Marquise Lee. You lose Michael Crabtree, you lose Amari Cooper, I'm all in on Seth Roberts. I will hold Seth Roberts all year long. He may do nothing for me, but I'll have him on my team if I have Cooper or Crabtree. And then if Cooper or Crabtree gets injured, I play Seth Roberts. Not Andre Holmes, I'll play Seth Roberts. Next, Cordero Patterson. Sometimes players suck. That's true. Sometimes players suck, and sometimes coaches suck. And what we're seeing right now is that Norv Turner is using Patterson to his fullest ability. You throw him a 3-yard out, and you let him run. So at worst case scenario, he gets another 3 or 4 yards, and your first down play, now you're 2nd and 3. What's wrong with that? That was a Bill Walsh special. That was a West Coast offense. How many first downs did he throw the ball to Roger Craig, who got 7 yards, and now they're at 2nd and 3? 2nd and 3, you either run it, try to get 3 yards, you run it, you get 2, you're at 3rd and 1, maybe you take a shot throwing deep, you got options. But Patterson can do that 6, 7, 8 times a game. And then he looked really good on that touchdown reception. He got whacked, but he held on to the football, and he made a nice little cut there. I like what I'm seeing with him. I like him a lot. I do. I always liked his speed, but now his brain is there, which is not easy for Patterson. Let me tell you that. He's not setting the academic world on fire. I'm telling you that right now. Lastly, Russell Shepard. Who is Russell Shepard? Do I think he's that good? Probably not. Probably not. But there's a big chasm at wide receiver 2 in Tampa. Cecil Shorts, he's not the answer. Louis Murphy, not the answer. Adam Humphries, he's a slot guy. Been very disappointing recently. Russell Shepard has ability. He was a good high school prospect. He was a quarterback, and that they're making into a wide receiver. It's worked before. Braxton Miller, Terrell Pryor, Cameron Meredith. It can work. But is it going to work with famous Jameis Winston there? I don't know. Am I willing to find out? Maybe. Maybe. At tight end, I'm going to put Vernon Davis into the J.J. Nelson category. He's a one-week wonder. I firmly believe that Washington plays Cincinnati this week, then they're on bye, then they come back to Minnesota. You will see Jordan Reed. But let me tell you something. Cincinnati bye, Minnesota, Green Bay, Dallas, Arizona, Philadelphia, Carolina, Chicago. That's a pretty tough schedule. I'm not overpaying for VD. Whoever wants to overpay to get VD. You know what I'm saying? Guys, you know what I'm talking about. All right, Jack Doyle. Oh, man, Doyle rules. Please, if he's out there, if some dimwit in your league hasn't picked him up yet, be the dimwit. You be that guy. Go get him. I mean, Andrew Luck is really looking for him. I like him very much. Very much. I'll give you two more guys. One guy who's on the decline, but I don't think really is, and one guy who people probably have forgotten. So one, Ladarius Green. He's going to come back soon. Jesse James is okay, but Ladarius Green, they signed him to make an impact. They haven't been able to use him, but they will. He's a good player. So maybe he's out there in your league. Maybe you need a tight end. I'd look there right now. And how about Cameron Brate? Cameron Brate has been a big disappointment. He has. He's been a big disappointment because people paid a lot of money for him. So let's go look at those numbers very briefly. Cameron Brate, okay? 3 for 30, 3 for 16. Then it was 5 for 46 and 2. And then Austin Seferius-Jenkins, bye-bye. 5 for 67 on 8 targets. But the last couple of games, Carolina 1 for 38, 3 targets. San Francisco 3 for 29, 3 targets. But here's the deal. Carolina and San Francisco, bad run defenses. Jacquizz Rodgers got a lot of carries. You stop the running game, Brate is more interesting. Right? You stop the running game, Brate is way more interesting. So I think people are down on Brate. I'm not. Because I know with the right matchup, he could be back to 3 to 5 to 6 receptions. So if he's been dropped in your league, please go get him. He's a good player. He is. He's a good player. All right. Time now to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. I want to talk about something else though, guys. Scout Score. We do our Scout Score for DFS for football. We do it for basketball too. And it's taking the projections with the valuation and combining it. So, for example, we've talked about this before. If Ryan Tannehill's $5,000 and we think he's going to score 20 points, we give him a Scout Score of 4 because he's going to be worth 4 times what it costs. We're doing this for NBA. It's a really helpful tool. Is it always right? Of course not. Nothing is always right. Nothing is always right. But we're giving you a great opportunity to put your teams together with finding guys with high Scout scores. And it's just something that I'm really proud of, and I love what we're doing at Scout with it. And I think people who use it realize how good it is. Is it the perfect tool? No, nothing's the perfect tool. But it's a tool that can help you win in DFS and give you the best chances to get the best value, right? Value for your money. Isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Value for our money? I pay this, I get back that. That's what we want. So in order to be a member, to get the Scout Score, you got to be a member of Scout Fantasy. You go to scoutfantasy.com, you enter the promo code ROTO, R-O-T-O, you pay for 1 month, we'll give you 2 more for free. That's how we do it. And then you're going to be a member of the Scout Army, and then hopefully you'll be my rich friend. All right, we're back tomorrow with a Thursday night preview. We're also back tomorrow where I go through my league and see how much people bid. I have spent 2 days telling you not to overbid. Who will listen to me? I don't know, but I'm intrigued to find out. Maybe someone who's not listening to this podcast overspends. And boy, won't they be in trouble. All right, guys, have a great day. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!